In a serene village nestled in a verdant valley, surrounded by towering mountains and lush meadows, there was a master artisan renowned for his extraordinary pottery. His workshop was a marvel of creativity, filled with shelves upon shelves of beautifully crafted pots, vases, and sculptures. The air was rich with the earthy aroma of clay, mingling with the sweet scent of glazes and the faint sound of the artisan's gentle humming. His creations were celebrated for their intricate designs and deep, soulful beauty, capturing the essence of nature and human experience. The village itself was a picturesque haven, with cobblestone streets, charming cottages, and vibrant gardens. The artisan's workshop was the heart of the village, a place where visitors from distant lands would come to witness the magic of his artistry. The artisan was known for his ability to infuse ordinary clay with a sense of life and wonder, transforming it into pieces that seemed almost alive. One bright afternoon, as the village basked in the golden embrace of the sun, Jesus arrived with his disciples. They had heard tales of the artisan's remarkable skill and were eager to witness his work firsthand. As they approached the workshop, they were greeted by a sight that seemed almost enchanted. The artisan's creations filled the space with vibrant colors and intricate patterns, each piece telling a story of its own. Jesus and his disciples watched in awe as the artisan worked. His hands moved with a grace and precision that spoke of years of practice and deep understanding. The clay seemed to respond to his touch, transforming under his fingers into shapes and forms that were both intricate and profound. The disciples were captivated by the way the artisan's creations came to life, each one revealing a hidden beauty through its form and decoration. After a while, the artisan set aside his tools and invited Jesus and his disciples to join him. They gathered around, their curiosity piqued, eager to understand the secrets behind his extraordinary artistry. "Master," one of the disciples asked, "what inspires you to create such beauty? How do you infuse your work with so much life and grace?" The artisan's eyes sparkled with warmth and wisdom as he began to share a story from his own life. "Let me tell you about a young man who yearned to become a great artist. Driven by a deep desire to create something truly magnificent, the young man traveled far and wide, seeking the guidance of various masters and learning their techniques. Despite his tireless efforts and dedication, he felt an emptiness within him, as though something essential was missing from his work. One day, disheartened and lost, the young man found himself sitting by the edge of a gently flowing river. He watched the water as it meandered through the landscape, flowing effortlessly around obstacles and carving new paths. The river was not constrained by rigid boundaries or straight lines. It adapted to its surroundings, embracing change and finding beauty in its dynamic journey. As he observed the river, the young man experienced a profound revelation. He realized that creativity, much like the river, is not about rigid adherence to rules or predefined structures. It is about the freedom to explore, to adapt, and to find beauty in the unexpected. Inspired by this insight, he returned home with a renewed sense of purpose. He began to infuse his art with the same fluidity and adaptability he had observed in the river. His creations started to reflect a newfound spontaneity, flowing with a grace that resonated deeply with those who encountered them. The artisan paused, allowing the story to resonate with his listeners. "But the story does not end there," he continued. The young man's art, now imbued with this new perspective, began to attract significant attention. He was invited to showcase his work in a grand, opulent hall, known for its magnificence and starkness. The hall was vast, with towering ceilings and empty walls that seemed to absorb the art, diminishing its impact. Feeling a profound sense of disillusionment, the young man sat alone in the hall, contemplating the emptiness that surrounded him. As he listened to the echoes of his footsteps and observed the play of light and shadow in the space, he experienced another profound realization. The emptiness of the hall was not a limitation but an opportunity, a blank canvas for a new form of creativity. He decided to adapt his approach, integrating the hall's architectural features into his presentation. He meticulously arranged his artwork to interact with the light and shadows, creating a dynamic interplay that transformed the art into a living experience. The echoes of the hall were woven into the presentation, becoming a harmonious backdrop that complemented the art. The exhibit was transformed into an immersive journey where the art seemed to come alive in response to its environment. Visitors were mesmerized not only by the beauty of the individual pieces but by how they interacted with the space, creating a multi-sensory experience that was both profound and enchanting. Jesus, observing the disciples' rapt attention, continued, "From the artisan's story, we learn that creativity is a living, evolving force. It is not confined by rigid rules or structures but flows from within, adapting to its environment and embracing change. Just as the river carves its path through the landscape and the young man adapted his art to the grand hall, our creativity shapes and is shaped by the world around us. It is in embracing this flow, adapting to challenges, and finding beauty in the unexpected that we truly express our creative spirit." The disciples, deeply moved by the artisan's narrative and Jesus' insights, thanked the artisan for his wisdom. As they left the village, they carried with them a newfound understanding of creativity, one that saw it as a fluid, dynamic force that connects deeply with the world. This perspective inspired them to approach their own endeavors with a sense of freedom, adaptability, and profound engagement with their surroundings. As they continued their journey, the disciples reflected on the lessons they had learned. They began to see creativity not merely as an act of making but as a profound interaction with the world. They understood that true creativity involves embracing the flow of one's imagination, adapting to the challenges presented by different environments, and finding beauty in the transformative power of their own creative expressions. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, Jesus and his disciples gathered around a campfire. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on their faces, and the gentle rustle of the breeze created a soothing backdrop. They discussed the day's lessons, their thoughts intertwined with the warmth of the fire and the cool evening air. The disciples shared their reflections on the artisan's story and how it had inspired them. Peter, one of the disciples, spoke with enthusiasm. "I realize now that creativity is not just about creating something beautiful but about responding to the world in a meaningful way. It's about seeing opportunities in every challenge and allowing our work to evolve as we do." James, another disciple, nodded in agreement. "It's as if we're all artists in our own right, shaping our lives and our experiences. By embracing the flow and adapting to the changes around us, we can create something truly profound and transformative." John, ever thoughtful, added, "And it's about finding harmony between our inner creativity and the external world. When we let go of rigid constraints and allow ourselves to be inspired by the world around us, we can achieve a deeper sense of connection and fulfillment." As they spoke, the disciples felt a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. They understood that creativity was not just a skill or a craft but a way of engaging with the world, one that required openness, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace change. Their journey continued with this newfound understanding, influencing every aspect of their lives. They approached their work, relationships, and spiritual practices with a greater sense of fluidity and spontaneity. They allowed their creativity to flow freely, interacting harmoniously with their surroundings. They saw challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities for innovation, and they found beauty in the ever-changing dynamics of their experiences. The disciples' approach to life began to reflect the wisdom imparted by the artisan's story. They approached each day with a sense of curiosity and openness, seeking to engage with the world in a meaningful and creative way. They found joy in adapting to new circumstances, seeing each challenge as an opportunity to express their creative spirit. Their newfound understanding of creativity transformed their interactions with others. They approached their relationships with empathy and adaptability, seeing each person as a unique expression of creativity. They celebrated the diversity of human experience and found beauty in the ways that different perspectives and talents could come together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. As the disciples traveled through different lands, their creative approach to life began to inspire those they encountered. They shared the story of the artisan with others, helping people understand that creativity is not confined by rigid rules but is a dynamic and evolving force that connects deeply with the world. In one village, they met a group of craftsmen who were struggling to find new inspiration for their work. The disciples shared the parable of the creative artisan, emphasizing the importance of embracing the flow of creativity and adapting to their environment. The craftsmen, inspired by the story, began to infuse their work with a new sense of spontaneity and openness. Their creations transformed, reflecting a deeper connection to their surroundings and a renewed sense of purpose. In another village, they encountered a group of scholars who were wrestling with the constraints of traditional academic methods. The disciples shared the artisan's story, encouraging the scholars to explore new approaches and embrace the fluidity of creativity. The scholars began to innovate, integrating new perspectives and methods into their work. Their research flourished, and they made groundbreaking discoveries that had a profound impact on their field. Through their travels and interactions, the disciples witnessed the transformative power of creativity in action. They saw how embracing the flow of imagination and adapting to the world could lead to profound change and fulfillment. The lessons they had learned from the artisan's story became a guiding light, inspiring them to live their lives with a deeper sense of connection and creative expression. As the years passed, the disciples carried the wisdom of the creative artisan with them, sharing it with others and living it out in their own lives. They approached every challenge with a sense of curiosity and openness, finding beauty in the unexpected and adapting to the ever-changing dynamics of their experiences. The parable of the creative artisan became a timeless tale, a reminder that creativity is not just a skill but a way of engaging with the world. It taught that by embracing the flow of our imagination, adapting to change and finding beauty in the unexpected, we can create a life filled with wonder, innovation, and fulfillment. In the end, the disciples understood that creativity is a divine gift, a reflection of the boundless potential that lies within each of us. It is a force that connects us to the world in profound ways, allowing us to express our deepest selves and create something truly extraordinary. And in this understanding, they found a sense of purpose and fulfillment that guided them throughout their lives, inspiring them to live with creativity, grace, and a deep connection to the world around them. This is end of the story. Please like this video and subscribe this channel for more Jesus story like this. May the God watch over you.